So, today I'm headed back up here to the cabin location, and I kind of stopped here because I heard some crashing over in the brush. Now, crashing doesn't always mean anything. It definitely means an animal of some kind, and you're not really sure what kind of an animal it is if you can't see it. So, like I said, I know that we had a predator, and we do have predators in this area. I saw some scat for what was a coyote earlier. Um, they're pretty much going to leave you alone too, so you don't have to worry too much about them. But it's just, you always want to be err on the side of caution. But to me, it just sounded like a deer, and then I heard the dogs barking. So I'm guessing what happened is I scared a deer or a couple of deer, and they just took off running, and they probably went down the road there and then by the house, and that's why the dogs were barking, because they saw them. It's not uncommon. We got a lot of deer here, and I've seen a lot of them. So yeah, just know that every sound that you hear is not something that needs to make you skittish. But if you do hear something, do what I'm doing. Make some noise. Talk. Kind of let whatever it is know that you're a person. And like today, I've got my axe with me, but I don't carry a gun. I don't really like guns, so I just kind of carry hand tools. And I figure, if I got to go hand to hand with some kind of predator, I mean, hopefully that wouldn't ever happen, because I would hate to really hurt the animal, honestly. So here I am today at the cabin location. We have a really nice day, and the tough thing is every nice day that we have, I'm not always able to get out here. I wish this was my full-time thing, but sad to say it's not, and I do have to work. So sometimes I have to work on those days when it's nice and sunny, when what I really want to do is ride Rusty or come up here and work on the cabin. But I'm taking advantage of today, so I'm going to try and get as much done as I can. Last time I was digging holes for the poles to go in the ground. And so today I brought some tools. I'm going to finish that. I brought some water, I brought some food. But I think what I'm going to need to do in the future is I think I'm going to need to stash some like gallons of water up here, because if the days are really hot and I'm working hard, one little bottle of water is not going to do it. So we'll see how long I can stay up here today and how much I can get done. Hopefully it's a lot. Okay, so with wood, especially if you're building some kind of structure, generally you want to peel off as much of this bark as you can, because insects can get in there and then it causes rot a lot faster. Like here, you see, we got ants in here, and their little kind of babies, maggots already in here. So it's like a breeding ground for there are little insects all over in here. And like I said, that'll make your wood rot a lot faster. So if you can, dry out your logs and then peel them, and that'll help your structure remain solid for a lot longer. So here's this hole I'm working on, and I find the best technique to digging with this little hand tool is to just kind of put it down there and then flip it. So it's just kind of this flip movement really that gets you, making it kind of like just a whirring blade in there that can then get down and penetrate a lot quicker. So if you kind of use this little flip technique, like I said, it's like a fan blade almost. It just rotates like that and helps you really dig down into there. And since I'm doing everything with hand tools, I have to kind of figure out a good technique for getting the most work done and not tiring myself out. Okay, so this hole right here is probably a little over a foot down, maybe 1.5 feet. The farther down that I get in there, the harder that it is to dig, just because, you know, the dirt's more compacted the farther down you go. So what I'm actually going to do is, I think I'm about ready to go ahead and give this a shot, but I need to trim down this pole that I'm putting in the ground here just a little bit. It's just a little bit taller than I want it to be, and if I trim it down to then it'll be about the right size to put in there, because I want to make sure that it is secure, since it's kind of helping to hold up the walls. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. I got that hole dug down probably about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet, and the ground just really became hard to work with, but that's good enough, because now I have the pole in place in the ground, and then what I'm just doing here is just kicking some dirt in and then tamping it down with my foot, just to, you know, give it some of that some compactness, to keep it sturdy. So, and then I think what I'm gonna do actually is, so maybe I can get like another half foot or so of dirt around here, is I'm actually gonna build up the floor a little bit. So I'm gonna put a layer of dirt down, so then it will create like another, you know, half foot that pole is in the ground, to help make sure that it's secure. But yeah, something in place, looking good. All right, so now that I've got this back pole in here, this post by the front, I'm gonna work on putting a post in right here in the rear. That way I've kind of got this, you know, I've got it at a diagonal, because what I'm starting to realize is, in order to work on this cabin the way that I'm gonna need some shade from the sun when it's hot on days like it is today. And then I'm also gonna need some protection from the rain if I'm ever gonna get this cabin done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in at a diagonal, so then I can put a tarp there across at the top, and then I can lash it down there and lash it down there to the ground, stake it in, and that way I've got this protection from above me, from the rain and from the sun. Okay, so I'm digging that other hole. The tough part is I use kind of the hatchet really to get through the top layer like this. It just has more weight to it, and it penetrates the ground at first when I first start. So I whack at it with this for a while until it gets too deep to a point where then I got to chisel it out. Then I go ahead and then I switch over to the little trowel to kind of get the rest of this stuff out of here. But this hole needs to be a little bit bigger, because the post going in back here is a little bigger. Okay, so the reality of the situation is this. Busted hand trowel here. I wasn't sure who was going to give out first, me or the tool, but obviously it was the tool that gave out first. Luckily, I think that hole's deep enough. I'm just kind of hoping and praying it's about as deep as the other one, but this other post is a lot heavier than that first one. So the reality of it is, I didn't bring enough water. I didn't think I did, but I've almost got that second hole done, and then I just need to put that second post in. I think that's good enough for today, but this is the last of the water, so. All right, so here you have it. Those two posts are in now, and they're at a diagonal So we've got that. And that in itself was quite a bit of work, just digging the holes and getting them situated in there. But now we've got some height to our structure. All right, so I got the poles in, but now I'm just getting all of this dry bark off of here. Now that these have had a chance to dry, these logs up here, I'm just gonna peel all this loose bark off because it's really important, like I said, you know, because insects get in there and then your wood rots a lot quicker. It's hard to do this when the wood's wet, so you really gotta wait until it's dry. And thankfully we have a dry day up here, so I'm gonna get all this off to keep the wood from rotting. So I'm pretty sure that I seem crazy to a lot of people. I mean, why do this? Why build a cabin from scratch with hand tools in the middle of nowhere using only tools that you can find? Well, again, it's about getting back to my roots, about getting back to our roots. You know, our ancestors had to do this very thing when they were settling the land. They had to clear the land, they had to build everything. There wasn't anything pre-made there. They had to build everything themselves. And so I'm just trying to, I guess, transform my mindset into that, to be able to kind of be like, hey, this is what people who came before me had to do, and through the labor of your own hands and the strength of your own back and your reliance on God, could you accomplish these tasks? You know, and so many people today, you know, I think they're just watching like their little screens or whatever, wherever they are, and they're just like, oh yeah, I could do that, you know, I could do that. I've had comments, you know, on videos, episodes here where people have said, oh, I could do that, yeah, no problem, oh. And it's like, well, do it. You know, don't say that you can do it, because yes, you can. Anybody can do it. It's just, are you willing to do it? So I was just kind of picking up the area of debris and stuff, and I found this. Look at that. So that's going to be left by the loggers that were up here. You find debris and stuff like this, but you know, someone would say, what good is this little plastic bottle? But another man's trash is another man's treasure. So, you know, because got to use every resource that you can find. So this little plastic bottle might be of use to me. Been doing work on my car, little bits here and there. It's been having different issues, but today I was headed into town and it finally gave out on me. Right now I'm just doing some water preparation because it's a hot day. I need to come down here and find some more logs that I need to schlep up the hill. From the sweat that you're seeing, that helps to kind of convey the difficulty in it.